I'm Jerry Fierkenstead from Hermes Web, and I'm going to demonstrate for you some more ways to talk about the core. Ways to help clients, customers, etc. understand better what's going on down there and how it works. So, let me introduce you to the Hoberman sphere. Now, let me just set this down here beside this. Remind you, this is the core. This is the part of a human being where everything connects. This is the part of the human being where things can start to get contaminated. Now, if you look closely at this, you may see that down here inside, you can almost see a ball inside of this thing. And it's like a little wall in there. And what often happens is that when people have stuff they don't feel good about, they feel ashamed of, they're not sure about, they kind of wall it off. So not only is it down below the barrier, but even down in their core, they got a wall around it. They don't want anything to do with it. All it's ever done is cause trouble when it's got out. So they shut this thing down. And sometimes because it's caused trouble, it's like there's this force compressing it, like saying, don't let that out. It's so shameful, it's so awful what happens when it gets out. But when you shut down your core like this and you keep it shut real hard like that, it's like you're emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually constipated. And you can't live that way. Now, the simple thing is that what most people do, we all have our own little rituals where we try to loosen this up. So it's kind of like let our core breathe a little bit. So the next day we go back to work, we got a little leeway, a little bit to work with before it starts tightening up again. You know that phrase, I'm uptight. The day has gotten to me. We've shut down again. The core is closed. So we need to open that up. Now, the problem is, if you're doing that kind of maintenance on a regular basis, it's not a big deal. Just a way to talk about it. But some people, like I said, are really shut down, really shut tight. And you can't stay dead. It's just, it doesn't work. So if you've got yourself shut that way, sooner or later, this thing is going to start to pop open. And something in here is going to want to eat, want to get some food, some way or another. And when people get in trouble, it's often because this thing just suddenly opens up, just boom, like that. And when this opens up fast, the things you've stuffed in there, the things you're ashamed of, the things you don't know how to handle, they get out. And that's when big trouble starts. Because if you're keeping this closed, you're not working on what's in there. And when it suddenly pushes itself open, all that stuff you haven't worked on gets loose in the raw, unfinished, undisciplined fashion that it's being stored up. And that's when people get in trouble. And then they get that thing closed down again, they nail it shut, they push it harder than ever. It's just a setup for it to happen again. It might take a while before it to kind of loosen up and, you know, open up. It's really hard, it doesn't want to open, but when it does open, you got the same trouble again, maybe worse. So, Hermes Web uses sometimes several tools in conjunction with each other because this helps someone see something. Then you take the core, you magnify it, and then you can show someone the dynamics of the core. And even a simple way, say you're working with drugs. What do drugs really do? Why do people love drugs so much? Well, it's very simple. Drugs have the ability to open up this. Now, the bad thing about that is you open it up and you haven't worked on it, the stuff that comes out ain't ugly. That's why when you're at a party, and someone starts getting drunk, sometimes you kind of go, ooh, I don't want to be around that person because you know what's coming out as they open this thing up. And some kind of drugs, like say methamphetamine, they just open it up like this. And then it sort of pulsates until it gradually wears off and then it shuts again. But while it's open like this, who knows what you might end up doing and how extreme or crazy it might be. It will feel really good to be this open. So good you might not pay attention to what you're doing until it's closed up again, pushed down below the barrier, and you're back up on top and you're going, oh my God, what have I done? So, again, Hermes Web uses these tools to help people see, to visualize what's going on, what their issues are, what their dynamics are. And it helps get the job done, helps get the message across, and helps produce change.